So what would the circle? What circle is this? What's the center of the circle? O. So this is circle O. There are 3 radii. Remember, a radii goes from the center to the edge. So what would be 1 radii? OE, yep. So from here to here, that would be a radii. So OE. And what would be another one? OB. So from here to here, that's also a radii. So OB. And then there's one more. OA, good. Now I think in geometry, well, we'll leave it there. Actually, we'll just leave that there. Okay, diameter, in order for it to be a diameter, it has to go through the center. And it has to go from edge to edge. And there's only one straight line. It has to be a straight line that goes through the center. So there's only one straight line that goes through the center. And that would be what? AB. This is your only diameter. So a diameter would be AB. A chord has to go from edge to edge. Now, chords don't have to go through the center. So there's actually 2 chords because a diameter is also a chord. So you could say AB. AB is a chord. And what's another one? CD. So if I know that from here to here, go ahead and add the number 8 because that was cut off in your notes. So if the chord is 8, so that means from here to here is 8. What is the radius? Because remember, the radius is always half of the diameter. So if your diameter, because remember, this chord is your diameter. So can you write that this is actually your diameter? It is a chord, but it's a special chord. It's a chord that goes through the center, which makes it a diameter. Okay? So because it's 8, then what would the radius be? 4, because your radius is always half of 8. So if you take 1/2 times 8, you get 4. The circumference, there's actually 2 formulas for circumference that's in your packets. One uses the radius, the other one uses your diameter. And we'll use the one that uses the radius since we found it. So 2 pi r. So in your calculator, I want you to type in 2 pi times 4. Hit enter. So type in 2 pi times 4, hit enter. And then you hit the number, the key above, that converts it to a decimal. And so you could give me 2 different answers. One would be 8 pi. But most of your test is in decimal form. So the better answer would be 25.1. All right, any questions about how we work through that? So today we're just practicing with circumference. So go to your yellow note packet and turn to page 4. So we have different chords, but this is a diameter. But again, I want to make sure you understand the reason why this is a diameter is because it goes through that dot. That dot is the center. We cannot call it a diameter unless it goes through the center. So that 10 is your diameter. 10 is the diameter. If your diameter is 10, what's the radius going to be? 5. All right, so now pick up your calculator. It says to the nearest tenth. And you can use either circumference equals pi times your diameter, or circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. You get the same answer. So go ahead and type that in your calculator. Either use the diameter or the radius. If you're using the radius, though, you have to multiply it by 2. And then type that in your calculator. Hit the button above enter to get your decimal. And I just need the first number after the decimal, only the first number. So that first number would be, your final answer would be 31.4. Who got 31.4? And it would be centimeters because they did give us a unit. All right, I want you to try to do number 2 by yourself. See if you can do number 2 by yourself. What did they give us in number 2? The diameter or the radius? Which one did they tell us? Just the radius. All right, so go ahead and try to do number 2 by yourself. They told you the radius is 8. All right, try to find the next 2 answers by yourself. Okay, so Jaden, what did you write for your diameter? 16, because it's double. So to find your diameter, you multiply the radius by 2, which gives you 16. And then you can either take 16 times pi, or you could take 2 times pi times 8. And you should get 50.3. Who got 50.3? So it's 50.26, but because the next number is more than 5, that rounds that 2 up to a 3. All right, who had all 3 of those? Any questions? All right, so now let's look at these 3 here. Now they told you the circumference, and they want us to find the diameter or the radius, and the radius. Okay, so remember to find, we'll start by finding, we'll use the formula circumference equals pi times your diameter. So let's go ahead and write your formula down. So the circumference is 62.8. That equals pi times your diameter. So what you need to remember, though, is that pi is a number. Pi is a number. So to solve for your diameter, we're going to divide both sides. We're in our yellow note packet. We're going to divide both sides by pi. So in your calculator, I want you to take 62.8 and divide that by pi. That's going to give us the diameter. So take 62.8 divided by pi. hit enter.
Still rounding.
Yeah, we're gonna round, it's actually gonna round to 20. We'll just round it to 20 because it's 19.98 and 19.98 rounds to 20. So my diameter is 20. Now find the radius. Remember, to go from diameter to radius, radius is half of the diameter. So if my diameter is 20, then my radius would be what? 10. All right, let's look at number 4. So again, we have our circumference, which is 20 pi. So I'm using the same formula. Circumference equals pi times diameter. So if my circumference is 20 pi, and that equals pi times diameter, I'm going to divide both sides by pi. So go ahead and take 20 pi divided by pi to get your diameter. And if you take 20 pi and divide that by pi, did you get 20? Yeah, so your diameter is 20. Just like number 3. I mean, yeah, same thing. So if our diameter is 20, the radius is half of our diameter, and half of 20 would be 10. All right, go ahead and do number 5 by yourself. So 42 pi equals pi divided by diameter. Divide both sides by pi. So what did you get for your diameter? What did you get? 42? Who got 42? Raise your hand if you got 42. All right, so if your diameter is 42, then your radius is half of that. So 42 divided by 2 is 21. And that is it. All right, for the rest of the class period, I want you to work on your homework. You should be able to finish up through number 11 at this point. Up through number 11. So if you work on it a little bit every day, then when it's due, it's already done. So work through numbers 1 through 11 for the rest.